This is Isa from Dating Tips for Success. We are back again with another video. So for today, we will talk about want to date a coworker. Make it work with this 15 tips. So we all know that it's harder for us to work with someone, and it is really difficult for us to date someone that we work with. Okay, so can dating a coworker work? It depends. You just have to set up your goals to like not harm yourselves, your work, your workmates. Make sure that it will not affect your performance at work and how you connect with your coworkers. Okay, so here are the 15 tips to make your work office romance work. Okay, so number one is make it work. Make it worth it. So make sure that whenever you start dating someone, like you're doing your best to make it worth it. You're doing your best to make the relationship last, since you are always together, and most of the time you have um you have talking to each other, seeing each other. So yeah, okay. And this is very important that if you work with your coworker, treat them as your team member and not as your competitor. So, like for example, instead of competing with each other for a position, why don't you just help each other so that the both of you will be able to get the position or to get the things that you want in terms of working or in terms of promotions and so on. Okay, number two is don't rush into it. Yeah, don't rush into it, because you always have to um you always have to take in consideration everything, like the HR, your coworkers, your environment, and so on. So you always have to take things in consideration before deciding whether you're gonna date them or not. Number three is don't let the relationship and your activity assume control over your life. So yeah, um, don't let the relationship control your life. Like, for example, yeah, you work together and you are together. However, you don't have enough time for your work. Like most of the time, you're cuddling with each other, or you're having romantic PDAs with each other, and so on. So instead of that, you have to also have your work life balance situation. Like you work during your work hours, and you enjoy your company when you guys are outside work already. Okay? Number four is be considerate of your workmates. So you always have to consider your workmates, how they may feel with the situation that you're currently in. And like for example, if you guys are in a 9 to 5 working schedule, make sure that during those 9 to 5, you guys like you the both of you should act like a coworker, and not like I and not act like a lover. Okay? Number five is to establish standard procedures early and regularly. So you always have to set standards and guidelines. Like you also need to have um, like your rules on what to do and what not to do, since you guys are in the same company. It will affect your performance at work, and it will affect your um, integrity and your honesty in the company, since most of the work romance situations are not allowed within a company. Okay, so yeah. Number six is don't expect it to remain mystery until the end of time. So don't expect that you can hide the things, you can hide your relationship from your coworkers, from the HR, from your manager, from everyone. So like if you are really good in hiding something, then it will be easier for you. But if you guys are most of the time you want to be each other, you talk to each other. The more you talk to each other most of the time, and not talking with other people, or like for example, um, they'll be shocked because you guys are not having lunch before, and then now you're going to lunch together. So those kinds of situations you have to be um, you also have to be prepared on what are they gonna think, and so on. Okay. Number 7 is to confirm whether there's an organization approach about dating in the work environment with your HR office. So yeah, this is very important so that the both of you will not face any like memorandums of not like uh memorandums that you're fired and so on. So make sure that there is no rules or no limitations for the both of you. Okay. Number 8 is don't date somebody whose vocation you have any authority over. So don't date your managers, your supervisors, and so on. So um, those in the those people that are in the higher level in the organizational chart, you should not date them, because other people may expect that you're just dating him just to get a position, or you're just dating her just to get a position, and so on. Number 9 is do talk about work. You always have to do and talk about work after your work. So, yeah, you have your work life balance. However, you also need to have a conversation with each other about how the work is going, or how is the other person is doing in terms of work. So you can go ahead and help each other by brainstorming. Number 10 is don't only discussion about work. So, yeah, you can go ahead and talk about work. However, you should not, most of the time, talk about work. You also have other life. You have your own life. You have um, different things, different interests that you wanted to be, or that you wanted to do, and so on. So, yeah. Number 11 is do kick ass at your chosen form of employment. Yeah, you always have to do your best in terms of um, work performance. So make sure that other people is not seeing you that you're doing not well anymore with the work, and so on. Number 12 is don't keep the relationship going in light of the fact that you cooperate. So, yeah, make sure that you guys are in the same page, you are achieving each other's expectations, and so on. 13 is harassment potential outcomes. You also have to be careful with the partner that you're gonna choose to date with, because by the end of the relationship, or when the time comes um that you wanted to like that you wanted to avoid them and do something like end the relationship, they might file you a harassment case. 14 is romance versus reality. So you always have to um, be careful on choosing the right spot, choosing the right term to use, choosing, yeah, remember that there is also a different thing that you needed to focus on. 15 is one advancement later. So you also have to make sure that your partner will not be hurt when the time comes that you needed to go out of that you needed to be promoted into something higher than his current position. Okay, so what to do if you find a coworker in a dating site? So my recommendation is, if you find somebody at work on a dating application, tend to your very own concerns and hush about it. So, like, keep it to yourself. Yes, you have to be careful in approaching them that, oh, I saw you in online dating sites. So you have to be careful in those situations, because there are people that they don't want to have um They don't want other people to know that they're dating something or dating someone, especially online dating sites. How to ask a coworker out? You just have to be straightforward with them. Like, do you want it to go to coffee during a lunch break, or do you want to have lunch with me? Something like that. Okay, it will be easier for you. Again, this is Isa for Dating Tips for Success, and we hope to see you in our next video. Goodbye!